your boy, Captain Colds.
What, and your boy Cash here featuring...
Is he the third man? He's the third man!
The wild card.
And this is Talking Like Champions. Are you ready?
Aye, Captain!
I said, are you ready for Talking Like Champions? And if you know, it's a good day here at the TLC Wrestling Podcast, and coming in hot, fresh off the pan, fresh off the griddle, the grill, whatever it is that you cook on. But SummerSlam,
Hot WrestleMania.
Cleveland,
Hot WrestleMania.
they were popping on another level.
At Hot WrestleMania.
Let's take it back before we get to SummerSlam and just talk about the two championship bouts that we spoke about last week on the SmackDown preview. We had the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn taking on Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, and I thought that they could probably get the job done here, and an unexpected thing happened when none other than Blair Davenport out of nowhere cost Bianca and Jade. I didn't see this coming.
Nowhere. No, out of nowhere. Definitely.
I like it, but I didn't see it coming.
I like it. They seem to, and by that I mean WWE. WWE seems to do well with putting factions together as of late, and they've been doing well with female factions. So if you're going to put Blair Davenport with the Unholy Union, that surprises me and caught me off guard.
But
sure.
if you do think about it, we do get Bash at Berlin here in a couple weeks, so
Makes sense.
it makes 100% sense for that to happen.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a good way to protect everybody here. You get a little bit longer reign from the Unholy Union. I do think Jade and Bianca will eventually get back the tag titles.
And I mentioned that Alba Fire and Isla Dawn deserve a better reign, so I hope this is the start of it here. They deserve something a little bit better than just sentimentally winning the titles.
To be fair, these women's tag team championships have not had any solid reign since they introduced these titles.
Since Bayley and Sasha.
Yeah.
Sorry, Monet.
I'll go one after that since you're on the topic of it. I'll say that Asuka and Kairi, OG Asuka Kairi before this run, they were good with tag titles, but yeah, there really hasn't been
Yeah,
any really solid.
there's been a couple.
That's it. There really has been many
Including
solid.
I'd say Alexa.
Liv and
Alexa
Rhea.
and Nikki had a pretty decent reign.
Liv and Rhea was good, and obviously it fell apart because of the story, but there's a few. Not very many, but hey.
But you know what happened? That was under the Vince McMahon era, and what happened with tag teams?
They break them up and they shit on them.
Yeah, they do.
Wow. Speaking of tag teams, that brings me to the other championship bout when DIY looked to defend their championships against the Bloodline, Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. This match was unexpected as well. Cash did say that the Bloodline was going to walk away. We all did agree that the Bloodline needed to win in their first outing for the tag team championships. I just thought we were going to get the Randy Orton, Kevin Owens return here to maybe keep the titles on DIY a little bit. And kind of shitty for Gargano to have to take that brutal beatdown like that from Fatu and take the pin in his hometown of Cleveland,
OHIO.
where he'd lay. And as we crown new WWE Tag Team Champions,
Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga.
As we close the show, Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga draped those tag team titles
over
onto
their tribal chief.
Solo Sikoa.
And then when they
But
walk
not
backstage,
the OTC. Not Prolitech OTC.
which brings us to SummerSlam, where The Miz hosted the 37th annual.
Biggest party of the summer.
Of
Hot
course.
WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and it was a slam full of SummerSlam.
And we talked about attendance, remember? And the wild card, I believe he said it was 40,000.
I said it was...
Wrong. I said it was going to be definitely more than 45, 50 off the show. Wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And Cash said more than 50 as well.
Oh, yeah, and I said more than 50. You're darn right. You go back and fact check it.
How many were in the building?
I feel that those are inflated numbers.
57,791 in attendance was announced
I don't think
by
it's
The Miz.
inflated.
WC seems to think that's an inflated number. I don't disagree with him. I'm sure there is some sort of inflation there. I still
Probably the
think
number
there
of
is-
tickets sold on the Ticketmaster master.
I still think there is at least 53,000 in there, but that attendance number, we go by what they tell us. So 57,000.
We'll stick to it. Still,
Yeah.
It was a great SummerSlam. Jelly Roll kicked it off with a live performance, and man, my boy Pork Chop drumming out there, living his best life. Big Cody.
You guys see Big Pork Chop on the drums for Jelly Roll in the opening night, their opening moment of the night. Let me tell you, that man has a mullet of a madman on about a 300-pound body, and that man was drumming his life away, performing his ass off.
Liar.
And American the Beautiful.
Yeah.
They did do America the Beautiful. Jelly Roll, obviously, it was a great outing from Jelly Roll, one of the hottest guys out here.
I will say
23 million.
Yes.
Followers or subscriptions monthly on Spotify right now. Listens, I should say.
I will say that this was good for WWE in the live musical or musician aspect for wrestling. Obviously, the last person that they had do a live musical moment was country/rock artist Hardy, and he did not get a very good
Pop.
ovation, pop, however you want to say it.
Well, he
when
was still
performed.
kind of up and coming around
I guess
then,
so, but Jelly
I
Roll,
get it.
man, knocked it out of the park. So kudos to him on opening the night, very strong.
And we kicked.
We're also going to go ahead while we're on the subject of Jelly Roll. Let's get to his run-in that he had with.
We can
When
Sure.
when we announced that attendance record from The Miz,
Yes.
R-Truth was out there. Then who came out wild card?
Post Malone.
Post Malone came out there.
No, R-Truth called Jelly Roll Post Malone on social media, but they came out there. Jelly Roll gave 2 chair shots to both Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. He pulled back on that first chair
Well, hold
shot.
on. It was funny not to cut you off, but remember, Truth called them the Rock and Roll Express. And then he said, well, if they're not the Rock and Roll Express, who is that?
Yeah.
That was Post Malone.
That was Post Malone.
Now,
standing
back to what you were
there.
saying.
So he hits a chair shot simultaneously back to back to Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. He pulls back on that first one. He lets go on that second one.
Sure did.
He had to get the feel for it, you know.
Then he just gives one of the most impressive choke slams, not only in wrestling that I've seen, but like period ever. No jump, no nothing, just straight.
One arm.
Grabbed by the guzzler and just up and down.
And granted, Theory is one of the best in the game at selling, and he did jump a little bit, but that was strength by Jelly Roll.
That was one arm. There was no hand on the ass or grabbing at the waistline
or
of
picking the
anything for
tights
Jelly
up
Roll.
or
No,
any
none of
extra
that.
lift. It was
Nothing.
straight Theory jumping, straight Jelly Roll to the peak.
And as
his
Austin
height.
Theory is lying on the mat, we got to put in a John Cena tribute here at SummerSlam.
Jelly Roll had to do it.
I honestly did not expect Jelly Roll to go down for this.
Oh,
He went down for this.
Yeah, hell
He
yeah.
committed to this shit.
Jelly Roll, hey, he's ready.
For the 15 knuckle shuffle.
And he talks about it on the Pat McAfee show. If anybody hasn't seen it, it was out there.
About a 40-minute listen, it was worth it.
Yes, definitely.
All in all, Jelly Roll was great for WWE, great for SummerSlam. I really hope
Great
we
for the
actually
world.
see. Yeah, I really hope we see more of Jelly Roll in the wrestling world. He enjoyed it. He actually says on Pat McAfee shows we watched and heard today, he enjoys storytelling in any aspect of his career.
And that's what
or anything
wrestling
he
is,
does.
pure
Yeah, that's what
story.
wrestling is. So, shout out Jelly Roll. You're awesome. You ain't nothing but a liar.
And then as we move on, the first match of the night,
Kicked it off hotter than hot.
it is Mommy versus Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Guys, I went back and watched this. This match can't go more than 15 minutes, if that.
It wasn't very long.
It wasn't very long, but it was action-packed the entire time.
I think it was about 13.
That sell by
Action
Rhea
packed.
Ripley where she feels like she pulled her shoulder out of the socket.
Oh my
going through
God.
That sequence. And then
The
popping it.
blasting off that announce table?
Yeah.
Brutal.
I don't know if that was good selling or if that was 100% legit, but that was awesome. And I love the little teases in that because it would be Liv Morgan would go crashing into Dom.
It actually was 15 minutes and 55 seconds.
16
So-
minutes, literally, right there. Wow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to tell you that.
But that match, it was seeming like Dom was taking a lot of hits to protect Rhea in that match. And as we get to the end of this match, which I'll let y'all go first, but we'll see why.
Of course.
Well, it was
Mommy
very
versus new
reminiscent.
Mommy here.
Yeah.
Killer match, honestly. I'll go on record and say that was potentially one of Liv Morgan's, if not her best match or best showing. She killed it. She looked like a real main eventer here. Yes, Rhea absolutely sold for pretty much everything that Liv was doing. She was putting on
Oh
a
my
show
god,
for
that ending.
that ending. Both times she gets blasted here with Oblivion.
Yeah, that first
Oh
one
my
she
god.
kicks out.
Dude, forehead first to the mat, flips over, great sell. And
Every time, Mommy knows
the
how.
second time when she ends up taking it for the ultimate demise and end of the match, which we'll talk about momentarily, she eats it the exact same way again onto said chair. Same sell. Shout out 16-minute match. They were banging. Kat, why was there a chair in play at the end of
Well, this
said
was
match?
very reminiscent of how Liv Morgan won the WWE Women's World
We gotta
Heavyweight
back it up. We gotta back
Championship.
it up. Rhea's the one who actually went outside to grab the chair, and she was actually going to use it before Dom pulls
Very
away
true.
from her.
You're right, but Dom still exactly what I was saying, and the Liv and the Becky finish, same thing. Chair happens to get into the ring, Oblivion onto the chair, new champion, and in this case, a retain.
Yep.
But that's not the big thing. The big thing was, like you said, Mommy went to use the chair in the ring. Dom grabs it from hand, and then you're like, "Oh,
Claims
it
for her
has
not
you."
to
You're
do
like,
it.
you
Stop
can't
for
win the title this
Yep,
way, and that's great storytelling. Dom's selling it.
Rhea
Rhea's
played
like,
it
"You're
well.
right."
Yep.
You're right, and then the chair gets out of the ring, and now we get back to it when the chair's back in the ring because that damn dirty Dom.
Well, right after she's
That
arguing,
son of a bitch!
right after Dom took the chair, when Rhea turns around, that's when she gets blasted with that first Oblivion.
Oh,
Goes down
yeah.
to the count to the 1, 2, kick out Liv Morgan with a great facial expression here on the kick out. Can't believe it. And then, like we said, the chair gets in, takes another Oblivion
Same
onto
finish,
the chair.
the
1,
way
2,
that
3.
she-
As Liv Morgan is sitting there right at the entrance, right there by the ring.
She's laying down.
That bastard
That son of a bitch!
Picks her up.
picks her up and plants a big kiss on her.
Tongue. There was tongue.
Walks to the back, arm in arm, and as we find out later in the night, Liv just gets him as Dirty Dom has eaten a plate full of chicken nuggies.
Chicken tendies.
Tendies, nuggies, don't matter.
Dommy likes his chicken tendies.
She gets him.
She gets him.
From Wingstop, mind you. Sponsored
So, yes.
by...
We all kind of predicted and had a feeling that
This was gonna happen.
could happen, that Dom could do the ultimate turn here. Back the following Monday before, 2 Mondays before, whatever that was, when he looked Liv in the eyes and said, "I hate you. I want nothing to do with you, blase, blase." It was almost like he was
talking to
telling
Rhea.
that to Rhea, and hopefully we'll get to hear a little bit more in the coming week from Dom of why.
But I will say, out of SummerSlam, this is the last pay-per-view that I can remember in a while where we are getting
Premium live event.
premium live event, that we're going to get 2 monster baby faces at the end of this night.
Yeah.
So
Great way to kick the show off, I'll tell you that. They did good starting with the...
And there was a lot of people bitching, or, well, one person in particular bitching, that the show was very good, but also very predictable, and to a degree, I'd say they were right, but it was also, for a storytelling aspect, this drove home your midway point in the WWE year.
I'd say that the finishes for most of the night were very predictable, yes. How we got to those finishes, unpredictable parts.
And while we're talking about women's championships, let's move to Bayley defending her title against the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax. This was also a pretty short match.
it's also very predictable, but
We all knew Nia was going to win. We said it right here.
we did.
It was a 12-minute match.
The unpredictable part was obviously any cash-in attempts.
Tiffany
I was the one who
running
called,
in.
and I claimed there was going to be the cash-in. I claimed Tiffany was going to walk out. I still think that maybe they should have done that. It would have been a huge stage for Tiffany to do it on,
But she just got the new case.
No, but
exactly.
But it was a ruse to distract Bayley.
And that's why I like it, because was it really a ruse, though? Because you can spin this,
Yeah,
at
you
some
can,
point
but
down the line.
but
I still like the ruse part.
Yeah, because like I said, we said this for the Money in the Bank review, but when Drew lost that briefcase, like immediately we had sat here and
We
said,
had to know that Tiffany was going to hold it for a while.
Tiffany's going to hold this for a while. So this was
I had that in the back of my mind.
too early. I feel like she still needs a little more polishing.
Maybe Mania.
Before it could be.
She can carry it till
I feel like Triple H likes the cash in on Mania thing.
I mean, we can do one at the Rumble. We have never done a cash in at the Rumble yet, so that would be an interesting spin on that.
That'd be something different, a new place.
Well,
yeah,
that'd
for sure.
be the best thing is if you run back what happened to Roman. He has to defend the title. The winner just defended in a Royal Rumble, and then they get cashed in on. I mean, it'd be a hell of a thing.
Yeah,
It'd be a hell of a night.
That'd be different.
never going to happen, but hey.
Hey, congratulations to Nia Jax here, though, honestly. She does deserve this. She deserves a good
and this is
title
her second. Yeah, this is her second.
Yeah. And the first one was...
lackluster.
She was, because she was the bully.
It was a month.
She was a bully.
It was a month-long
and Alexa
reign.
Bliss was playing that one.
Yep. She
Singing out to my bullies and storylines and stuff. Yeah, it wasn't very long or notable for that matter. So, congratulations.
Honestly, I forgot she won it, but I knew she won it. You know what I mean? It's one of those.
So, nonetheless, yes, congratulations to Nia Jax. She definitely deserves it. We'll see how Miss Nia can do with title on SmackDown and what is in store for the
and
future.
Everyone hates her.
Champion.
Everyone hates her, so she brings in that heel heat, and she's going to generate heel in any match that she's in.
2 heel
good way to build baby
women's
faces.
champions now.
Now, who do you think dethrones Nia if it's not Tiffany cashing in?
If it's not Tiffany cashing in, you gotta look at maybe Bianca Belair at some point.
So her and Jade can fight for the title at Mania?
Could be.
We could be.
But if anybody, let me say, if anyone.
But Bianca's undefeated at Mania, so maybe Jade gets it done and loses to Bianca. But
if anybody's going to bring the best out of Nia Jax, it's got to be the woman that WC and I have already said was making her way back. And she's got to come back soon, so none other than Charlotte. I think Charlotte could actually come back very soon here and make her way to the title picture.
She might be back tomorrow. We don't know.
Yeah,
SummerSlam after.
SummerSlam or SmackDown after SummerSlam. Very possible. Great call there. We'll see. No, I do think she makes her way back soon. I do think she could take the title from Nia. I do think, obviously, Charlotte and Nia would put on a pretty good match together. So
yeah, they got chemistry, obviously.
Yeah. Nonetheless, congratulations, Nia Jax, boys. Moving on.
Speaking of congratulations, that brings me to the second match of the evening. Braun Breaker defeating Sami Zayn in quick work. 6 minutes.
This is the match that I was looking for right here. This match gave me everything that I needed. It was hard-hitting. It was fast. Before you know it, Braun Breaker is walking out, the new Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, I mean, do you get squash vibes here, WC? Or?
No, not squash vibes.
I don't either, right?
No, this is exactly just
because
like...
they were quick to the point, and that's their style.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker
but it didn't feel like Sami got squashed. It just felt like Braun was the more dominant
I honestly
wrestler.
didn't know it was 6 minutes until I was sitting here looking.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little... I thought it was like 9.
I knew it was short. I didn't. Like I said, I didn't know that time. But Sami got his blue thunderbomb in. I think he got a Halua kick in. So
for sure. Braun Breaker didn't make it seem like he absolutely dominated Sami Zayn. He just looked like more of the dominant wrestler. That's all. I agree. I wanted Braun Breaker to win here 100%. Love Sami Zayn, but it's time for Sami Zayn to go on to the world title picture where he belongs and where I think he ultimately needs to get it done in the future. That's another story.
And I love it. That's 3 championship title changing hands. Sorry.
3 titles
on SummerSlam weekend because one on SmackDown, obviously with the Bloodline.
Yeah.
And then we had Nia, and then we had
Braun Breaker,
which turns us to
the next mid-card title,
which is Logan Paul in his hometown taking on L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Let me talk to you. First of all, we want to bring out that MGK walks out with Logan Paul out to the ring.
I'm a fucking MGK mark. For those who don't know, I'm marked out, by the way.
Did not see it coming.
Logan Paul is clearly wearing a Cleveland Browns inspired gear tonight. LA Knight, he's just ready. This goes to a massive brawl to the outside before we even get to the bell here with a nasty neck breaker.
On that announce table.
Dude, Logan hit so fucking hard on that.
The announce table was built for that moment to happen. It literally had no give at all.
Which, if they didn't switch the tables out, explains Jacob Fatu slamming into that table later in the
Great call. We're going to talk about that later.
That is a hell of a call. I didn't even think about that either.
So yes, LA Knight taking it to Logan Paul before the bell even rings, so long actually, to the point where I actually asked Cap while we were watching the show, I was like, did the bell ring? And other boys they're sitting there watching the show with us, they were like, yeah, I thought it did. And I was like, I really don't think it did.
It does.
And then it came and it rang like 2 minutes after I said that, and I was like, holy shit, this was a great opening. Now, I got scared after this. I don't know how you guys felt. I thought that was going to ruin the match after that, because I thought the match was going to be like 6-7 minutes after that, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be a really quick type feeling match because they did so much outside before the bell rang.
I mean, it was only a 12-minute match as well.
Exactly, though. They gave you 12 minutes after the bell rang. They don't count all that in the match time beginning. So altogether,
Every match
that was a
is about
20-minute
that, so.
segment for them with action. That is what I wanted to see from our mid-card. That's what I wanted to see from Logan Paul and LA Knight. And lo and behold, we got the result that we all wanted to see.
And LA Knight here is a constant professional in this match. From the crazy moonsault
To the outside.
to the outside.
Logan definitely tweaked his knee, but
checking on Logan after that. Also on the
with that brain buster off
Brain
the oh my
buster.
Jesus Christ.
I already knew where you going.
you could tell, if they would have slowed down just a hair, this would have been flawless. LA Knight just trying to bring that athleticism. Remember, he's in the middle rope, jumped to the top rope to land that elbow drop onto him. So, and also doing that Pat McAfee spring to the top rope to deliver that big suplex.
Which Cole did say, that looks familiar when he jumped up. So that was a good little callback Easter egg there from the GOAT, Michael Cole.
And a shout out to obviously the great finish right there. You get MGK hopping over the barricade. He's got the nuts hanging on to his neck as a chain, which I didn't realize he walked out with to begin with, so that was great. He gets them to Logan Paul. Obviously, Logan Paul, he uses them. He bops them on the forehead of LA Knight. Sets up for a beautiful buckshot. Shout out Adam Page, you do it too. But Logan Paul,
what a transition,
executes this move beautifully. One of the best times he's ever gotten the flip all the way through. And he always comes through with so much velocity and intensity after the flip. He's almost falling forward when he does the clothesline.
Which is like it's unique.
It is. It's different. It's a lot faster, With that being said,
but
the megastar.
The megastar with a beautiful transition reversal.
To
Yokes
the
the arm, turns him right around, and he puts him down for a little bit of BFT, blunt force trauma.
The crowd erupts here as he hits the BFT, and everybody in unison counts 1, 2, 3, and we have a new United States champion in the megastar LA Knight.
And this is your only babyface champion at the moment besides Cody Rhodes now.
A long
at
time
this
coming.
point.
Long time coming for LA Knight. I actually was scrolling through the IWC as I do after most events, most PLEs or shows, and pretty much everybody from fans to even former wrestlers were just stating how LA Knight deserves this more than any other wrestler that they've worked with in other companies, that he's really climbed up from the bottom. You remember he was a,
Been in damn near every commercial.
Impact World Champion, slapped with a sticker over it because it was Global Force Championship Wrestling and the fuck Jeff Jarrett stuff. That's where LA Knight came from, from the Eli Drakes, the guys who watched him then. He goes through NWA and everything.
Speaking
he
of,
finally gets to WWE and gets
that's
it
what
done.
you need to watch today. It might not be a match, but it might be a promo.
But moving on, we get to arguably the most looked forward to match of the weekend: CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins, the special guest referee.
Oh,
this was brilliant. I love the
from the start.
I love the ref cam on Seth, and now going back and being like, I'm allowing it, with his little giggles. And
definitely the callbacks were cool. And also, speaking of callbacks, what everybody was wearing was very reminiscent of what we had already talked about with that Undertaker,
SummerSlam
Bret Hart.
1997.
Exactly. So that was a cool little callback. Drew was wearing the little black coat and stuff, Punk with the Bret Hart attire. Seth looking like
Shawn Michaels,
the sexy boy.
With his own tweak on it, I love it. Bedazzled everything. Just turns into a Seth Rollins thing. Great.
So
And we had a couple callbacks.
This match is going, and I'll pick it up. CM Punk has Drew McIntyre in the Anaconda Vice, where he then rips the bracelet off
Yep.
of Drew McIntyre, gets a hold of the bracelet, and then gets blasted. Seth then has to pick up the bracelet, where this all turns on CM Punk, who seemingly at this moment cost himself the match.
Because he had the GTS.
Had him locked up for it. Ready.
Had him locked up
All
for
he
it.
had to do was drop on a knee.
Sees Seth Rollins wearing the bracelet, drops Seth Rollins with the go to sleep. Drew McIntyre comes back with a Claymore.
1,
2,
3.
This, I enjoyed it, but I waited 6, 7, 8 months for this match. I expected a little bit more.
I do agree with you, but the ending of the match with Drew getting the bracelet back extends this to Bad Blood to where rumor has it the main event will be Drew McIntyre taking on CM Punk in a Hell in a Cell.
I could actually see now these stories progressing. I could see more than one Hell in a Cell match. Like, if we're continuing this storyline, we'll get it.
Oh, fuck it. Give me 5. We're only getting 5 matches to PLE. Give me 5 Hell in a Cells.
Live Rhea in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Just don't even lift the cage up. Make a couple accessible doors. If you want to go up top, you want to go up top.
For all of our OG fans, treat it like TNA back when they did Lockdown, baby. Lethal Lockdown, when every match was in a cage all night. Come on, baby.
I saw this.
Speaking of when that dude did that flip, my God.
This is a callback from earlier in the night to what happened, but I heard this. I would love to see Rhea versus Liv and put Dominic in a shark cage above the ring.
The old shark cage.
If we're not gonna do a ladder match for the custody of Dominic,
it would still be funny.
Well, they wouldn't put him above. They'd probably just put him on the stage.
They would. They hung Jericho up inside the shark cage.
Remember Enzo? He was like, he got out, somebody got out of it.
Yeah. But nonetheless,
I'm for it.
So I liked back to it was I liked CM Punk and Drew. I thought the match was really good.
It was
I
great
have to
storytelling.
agree to WC here again because, yes, I did feel a little short. It felt like they got to the 4th gear, not the 5th gear. Felt like they got to third base, not all the way home, though. And that's fine because they're going to give us another match. This is going to continue. My biggest takeaway with the match is definitely the bracelet moment. Shout out WWE's cameramen because that angle from the viewers at home watching it on TV, the eyes, you could see it from the camera angle and the bracelet. Punk's eyes were dead locked on Seth's wrist, so that was clearly the way to go. That was clearly a great moment. And Drew won. I
will say this: I do appreciate. So I used to be a huge CM Punk fan, and through all this stuff with Brawl Out, him coming to WWE or whatever the case may be, it's kind of soured me on Punk a little bit. But I will say the fact that Drew went over here was 100% the right call, because I go back to when CM Punk was on Colt Cabana's podcast when he finally broke his silence on the whole thing, and it's like, working with this guy, well, where's he going to be tomorrow? He's not going to be here. Then working with another part-timer, where's he going to be tomorrow? Oh, he's not going to be here. So if that's what CM Punk's schedule is going to be, then he didn't need to win this match. Drew McIntyre 100% needed to win this match.
I don't think he is going to be a part-timer, though.
Yeah, I really feel like
I think the injuries just kind of derailed him, but I think he'll be there weekly, whether it wrestling, different story.
Yeah, I do think
on television, I think every week.
I do think we'll see Punk on television every week as well. I'll agree to that. Punk right now is best for business. I mean, he is definitely has changed from the person he once was. He's aged man, wise now, and very understanding, and clearly on board with the Triple H regime, and that's why everything just kind of works with Punk right now. But yes, Drew McIntyre deserved this win. I picked Punk to win because logically and just the way it was going, I thought Punk was just going to go and take a win right here and put Drew into another level. Drew takes the win here and still puts himself at another level. So it's a win-win situation. The rivalry moves on. Drew gets a big win at SummerSlam. Seth comes out of this. Just like I said, Seth comes out the winner from this still going into Monday night. We'll talk about what happened there. But right here, Seth comes out of looking like a winner. Drew looks like a winner. Punk lost and still didn't look defeated.
And that ref cam was awesome. I do agree. I don't know if that's something.
Shout out the ref cam.
I don't know if that's something that they maybe set up permanently just for that night, or is that something we're going to see? Because that wasn't on Raw.
I'd love it if they kept it going.
Or was it?
No, it wasn't. So I'd like it and love it if they kept it going for PLEs, just so
for like a review.
Yeah.
We don't need the footage and shit every time. You know what I'm saying?
It would be dope to see, like, oh man, let's go back and see if his shoulder was down. Like if they were doing a storyline and the shoulder wasn't down type thing, and now we get a ref view literally of him counting 1, 2, 3, but the shoulder was up because we have a ref camera looking dead at the shoulders. Like that would be something cool to see in the future. So I'm a huge fan of the ref camera from the night. I hope they keep that going.
For PLEs, for sure.
Definitely for PLEs.
Just like the sponsorships in the ring, I thought it was pretty cool. They had one in every corner.
Wingstop?
It was Wingstop, it was Prime, and then there was one other thing.
Phone company or something? I honestly can't remember what the other one was on there. But they had them two abroad, one each corner across, and then the other two corners across, and then Prime in the middle and stuff. It was nice. I wasn't against the, and I'm not against the sponsorships on the mats. We watch UFC quite a bit, and they're loaded in sponsorships everywhere, and that's fine. They'll be doing little ones like this, and they're literally just doing black outline, not even doing color.
And WC could maybe attest to this, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was... What company had the blue ring back in the day? It wasn't WCW, but it was like Mexican or something. They had yellow turnbuckles, I believe.
AAA or?
It might have been, it was something like that, but I believe they had sponsorships on there.
Oh yeah.
Back
Oh,
then.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Lucha Wrestling has always had sponsors, whether we be Modella or Corona Light or Corona whatever, you know. They love their Rey Mysterio.
I don't know, but I might have made a name of myself. Yeah. Anyways, we have 2 world championships to talk about. And let's go ahead and get to the first one with the King General, the King of the Ring General.
The King General.
Gunther.
So he goes with King General after one King of the
Taking on the current champion,
Damian Priest. I love this. This was so much storyline. Again, as we talked about earlier, Rhea came out of the night as a monster babyface, and even though that Gunther won here, Damian Priest also is going to come out as a monster babyface.
Oh, yeah.
Out of this, and they booked him as they booked him as a smart babyface. He actually looked up the screen to see the footage.
WC's moment of SummerSlam right here. He posted about it. He talked about it. Yes.
well, you know how it is. Damian Priest always wants the Judgment Day to stay in the back because that's just he's kind of transitioned to that babyface. Like you said, slowly it's been a natural thing with the fans just liking Judgment Day or just liking Priest and Rhea in general.
Wepa.
So Priest wants to keep them in the back or whatever the case may be. So what happens here? Finn Balor pops out of nowhere after Priest looks like he has it over with, and Balor puts Gunther's foot on the rope.
You son of a bitch, Balor!
And like WC said, booking him as a smart babyface because why? You're in a fucking football stadium that has a goddamn Titantron,
Giant monitor.
the Jumbotron. Anybody from outside could see it.
Yeah, for sure.
And Priest goes, what the hell just happened? How did he put his foot on the rope? Da-da-da-da-da. Balor, you son of a bitch. And that's when he goes
I'll tell you how he got his foot on the rope.
And Gunther
When he hit that south of
chokes him
heaven.
out.
When he hit that south of heaven, he pushed him till he was basically by the rope.
That's on, we love Gunther here, but I want to say that's on Gunther because he should have rolled to his back there.
But
Priest should not have had to roll him over like that because it did not look good. It was a bad look on Priest.
But going backwards, there was a reason that Finn Balor was out there, because if y'all remember, after the Rhea Liv match, he goes in there trying to figure out what's going on. Where's Dom? Nobody can find him. He left.
Yep.
So we get to right before this match, and everybody disperses trying to find Dom, and Balor basically acknowledges, hey, I'll be out there for you.
Yeah.
So we already knew that Finn Balor was going to be out there. It was
At
just a
some
matter
point in time.
of just when.
Yep, matter of time of when.
But I love it. Great storytelling. They don't need the championship. Unfortunately, Finn is screwing himself again out of a world championship opportunity.
Something
but
I
obviously it's
mentioned
just
again.
not his time right now.
Something I mentioned again, yeah. Finn, I'm telling you, he keeps screwing himself out.
But after this rivalry, I believe that this is going to catapult him into the next, whether that's the Intercontinental Championship
100%.
again or...
I honestly believe that Finn Balor, maybe after this, could be a favorite to win the Rumble.
I hope so. Honestly, he needs and deserves
There's only one
another world title
man
reign, man.
winning the Royal Rumble.
Say his name and
He appears. I believe in John Cena. 17, baby.
That was great.
coming for it. But that's a different conversation. Yeah, but definitely Finn Balor is gonna. He's got to get something right.
The cameraman again.
Yeah, the tag title reigns are cool, but like
the cameraman again. You're not gonna lie, does this thing again because as soon as Finn puts the foot on the ropes, they do the replay. They come back,
that little smirking little cocksucker, man.
Cut back to Finn. He's doing the little smirk. It's great. From
great
this moment
fucking
on,
heel.
I think you kind of knew what was gonna happen here, and you knew that Gota was gonna win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and he does. And they made Priest look like a star here. He didn't quit. That's not the way. He grew up in the streets, and in the streets he didn't quit. And here he didn't quit either. And this was definitely the best way to finish off Priest right here, make him not look weak at all. I was the one who even said this world title reign picked up steam.
I'm sorry. Did he pin or it was
no, he submitted him.
He slept him.
He slept him?
Yep.
So
he hit the power. He hit the roll through power bomb.
He got out. He power bombed him, rolled him right back.
And I hate this.
Locked him back.
I hate the one arm.
But the
thing.
referee stopped the match.
Yes.
Okay.
But
I hate the one arm thing, man.
He doesn't, and I don't. I like
and hate.
I'll say it as well, just because I know Cap honestly doesn't like it. Yes, they do. One arm, he goes, he taps the fingers, taps the hand, the referee, Priest's arm, and he just kind of lifts it. He don't even really lift it anymore. He just kind of shakes it, and he's not moving. That's it. They call it. We all want to know whatever happened to the one.
I need a Hulk up, motherfucker.
And 2, lift,
finger wag,
and then he stops, or he just goes out. We want to know what happened to the 1, 2, 3 there. Now, I like to say, I don't care. I don't care. Just make it look good. Make it look like he went to sleep. And here, they did good. Priest looked like he never wanted to quit and never was gonna, and he went to sleep.
And then it was time for the main event of the evening. With the American Nightmare
versus Solo Sikoa. Solo comes out first here,
Bloodline
and then
rules.
we get a whole 10-15 minute segment of Cody on the bus. Cody walking out with Pharaoh. Pharaoh getting a treat.
This is Pharaoh's last run, man.
That was Pharaoh's last
You
entrance.
pissed about
he can't
it?
go on the road anymore.
Because I was, whoa!
Hey, for you fans who are old as hell like us, I feel like Pharaoh was like 3 years old, like 2 years ago. I don't know where the hell he became like 13 at. So shout out Pharaoh. What a hell of a
Dude's
dog.
been there since Stardust.
What a hell of a dog. That was his last ride. So give the dog some respect.
Walking to the back, running into one of the original 4 Horsemen members. Who? Pull out the Glock 9, Mr. Arn Anderson.
Who I called right before he walked around the bar. I was like, you know what? He's going to walk out to his coach.
I'm not kidding you when I'm telling you I was sitting next to this
I did that twice. Then the botch.
Literally
Botchaloga.
literally says Arn Anderson. And he couldn't even say Arn Anderson more than 2 seconds after. Boom! There he is.
Arn
and I was
Anderson
like,
on
holy
the train.
shit.
Telling Cody, you got some friends, don't worry about it. As we get into this match, these guys are going down. They're actually putting on a hell of a match here.
And he did wear the mask out again just to put that in
The
there.
Mania mask, it looked great on Cody. No, yeah, to attest to what WC was getting into right there. They did. They were putting on a great match, right? I mean, no weapons at first. No
weapons.
quick interference.
Solid wrestling match.
You had to go at least a solid, I think, 10-12 minutes before we got any kind of smiles, any kind of interaction or anything like that. And here it is with the Bloodline as they come out. And the Bloodline comes out. Orton, Owens, they come out, chase him away. We start getting some Cody cutters.
Some Cody cutters.
We get a couple of crossroads. And we go to the top rope for an ultimate Cody cutter.
Ultimate Cody cutter.
And both men are laid out.
They're down.
And referee Dan Egler is about to shit himself.
And why is referee Dan Egler about to shit himself?
Because the music of the OTC...
The who?
The OTC.
The greatest of all time?
The original tribal
Chief. And referee Dan Angler is about to shit himself because all he can remember is that every time Roman and him are in a ring, he's probably getting speared, he's probably getting Superman punched, or he's probably getting knocked out of the fucking ring. So this man looks like he just had a fucking brain aneurysm and just fell out.
The pop is insane. Roman comes down. He doesn't seem that intense. As you see, his eyes are kind of like looking down at the ground, almost surreal to this. He comes down. He's taking his fine time. I love that Michael Cole and Corey Graves here, like, who's he going after? Corey Graves, like, he's going after the guy who took the title from
And Mac Vino says, you know who he's going after.
And he gets
Solo.
With a Superman punch to Solo Sikoa as Roman is in the corner hyping himself up
For the loudest.
for the loudest ooh, as he hits the spear with an iconic line that was born with the revival of the Roman Empire. Basically referring to Roman Reigns in that 2017-2018 era.
Because why? Well, it's simple. Triple H has done the one thing that Vince McMahon couldn't do, and that's give us Roman Reigns as a babyface naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally. He didn't have to shove Roman down our face. He didn't need to, didn't have an opportunity to in this regime. Vince tried, and at points succeeded. Very early in the run, we were chanting Roman, and then you just kept shoving, and kept shoving, and kept shoving, and you kept trying to push him to something that he wasn't. This natural feel right here when this pop happens is fucking Richter scale, dude.
Superman punch into the spear. Roman then leaves, staring down Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes picks up Solo, hits him with the crossroads with a 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes is still your WWE undisputed champion.
In a banger.
In a banger.
Now,
Let's not forget
Let's
about the
date
botch
that.
from Tongaloa.
oh
To
man.
the corner
so
that
here
I
we
also
go.
called.
So let's dive into the Bloodline rules part now that we give you the breakdown here of everything goes. So, as you know, here comes Tongaloa, and all that. Egafatu, you already know. This man, Tongaloa, the infamous Tongaloa, I'll tell you what he's infamous for fucking botching every week. This man tries to put, who is it? Is it Kevin Owens or Orton?
No, he tries to put Cody Rhodes
Or Cody
in the corner,
Rhodes,
and
that's
I
right,
literally
right? Okay.
said, he's about to botch!
Oh yeah, they weren't out there yet. Yes, he literally, Cap goes, he's about to botch. No shit, this is the second 2-second off call that he's made tonight. He goes, he's
the
about
punch.
to botch. He can't even back Cody Rhodes in a fucking corner for a fucking move. He bounces him flat off the ropes.
Was terrible.
Was terrible.
But it's all good. He can still sell the shit out of it. Because Randy Orton, Kevin Owens return, help out their bud, the Code Meister, as he was able to, like they said, defeat Solo Sikoa with the help of the OTC.
Yep.
Also, got to put in there that Jacob Fatu went to the top rope to do this splash. I don't know if this is the same table.
Yeah, we said we were going to come back to this earlier.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So
Same
talk
table.
about that.
That LA Knight hit that neck breaker on Logan Paul. It was stiffer than a board.
Yeah, and so it looks like the tibula hit the edge of that table.
He sold the shit out of
I
that.
don't know if that was legit or it hurts. Believe me.
Oh, no, yeah, you ever hit a... let me break it down the easiest way I can think about. You ever been walking and pushing a shopping cart and have to stop and hit it
God,
right on your
stop.
shin?
Yes, bro.
That's
the
probably
feeling.
what it felt like.
Dude,
But
so...
with obviously more force.
Yeah, so obviously my rumor has it, I'd be looking around
sold
on the
it.
IWC and everything. I haven't gotten a full confirmation of him being hurt or selling it.
He was in a walking boot outside.
So yes, he did. He took a picture of Soul out.
But
and
that's
it looks
leaving the
like a gas
show. That's
station.
kayfabe.
He saw fans. He was in a walking boot. He did. It all kind of goes together though. He didn't like get carried out or stretchered out. He was able to walk out with the help of people. He's out in public wearing a walking boot. Like it all kind of plays like he did get hurt, but he was okay. But then I also read that he was selling the hell out of it, and they said that I believe you mentioned it, or somebody at the house that we were partying with when we were watching SummerSlam had mentioned that this is exactly what was supposed to happen. He was supposed to get her in the storyline, so that way he couldn't
That was
get
actually
up.
Guapo.
So that way, that's who it was, our friend Guapo. So that way, him and Roman
Which we know he'll
did
be
not
listening
have
to
to
this
have
tomorrow.
contact yet. Him and Roman did not have to have contact because of this. He was hurt. Air quotes there. So I'm not sure on full confirmation.
To me, it was just the way that when he stood back up
And he
initially
put his leg
and fell back
straight
down,
stiff and just
that
fell-
was
yes.
the hell.
That was the moment where we went, oh fuck.
That's when I thought it was
They
real.
just won the titles. They
But it
just
made
did
sense
DIY.
the
This
minute
is
that
for
he
nothing.
said that. I was like, you know what? Because Roman did come back
Yes.
right then and there, and it does make for
Makes
a good
some
plan
sense.
spot.
So either way, shout out Jacob Fatu. We hope you're good, dog, because we want to keep seeing what you got in the tank. We don't
and
want
the Bloodline's the tag team champions right now. We can't have that.
We don't want you to get hurt right now. So I
That's
hope
why
that
it
you
looked
are
so real. He was like,
banger of a
he was
cell.
hitting the wall and throwing the chair like, "Fuck, my WWE debut
It was very
like
real
this."
feeling.
Like, you
He
know,
did-
like
if this is selling, Jacob Fatu, you are a maniac.
not his debut, but you know,
Yeah,
what I mean.
so-
And then let's
Guys, SummerSlam though. I mean, all in all, let's talk about the end and overall feeling after.
I'll give
that.
it an 8 of 10.
I've literally been reading.
I thought it hit on all cylinders.
I've been
Obviously,
reading stuff
some of the
everywhere.
matches, like we said, could have been a little bit better.
They're putting this
but
SummerSlam
nothing was
in
bad.
one of the best, if not top 3, top 5. I've been seeing everybody all over IWC saying it.
You
WC,
agree?
how do you feel? Is this a top
I have
5,
to go
top
back
3
and really. This is a question for another time.
Yeah, but,
Yeah,
I really think in recent memory,
I can see top 5.
it's we've had 37. So
Sure.
it's,
In recent memory, I guess. Yeah, that's a good way. Go ahead.
You know, it's definitely going to be in the top 10. For me, it was great because we look for these shows sometimes to have multiple title changes, and this one, we almost got every single title change,
Which
here.
is very unheard of in the WWE regime. But
Yeah.
this is Triple H now, and things could be different.
And that Cleveland crowd was.
But you know, he's old school. It feels like WrestleMania and SummerSlam, or where we get our title changes, and we might get a couple in between on a
That's very true.
SmackDown
Yeah,
or
and
something.
that's,
Like
I do have that old school feel with
all
that.
the tag titles have changed hands on SmackDown or Raw, which I'm not opposed to, but I wish
I
we'd get a
agree.
little bit
Yeah,
more.
I mean,
on
as a
Steely.
kid, I would. Oh, SummerSlam or Mania, there's going to be new champs. Like, so I feel that. Yeah, all in all, this SummerSlam goes down in history. I think people are going to be talking about this SummerSlam for quite some time. Definitely depending on what happens now with Judgment Day, with Bloodline storyline, with these new young up and comers who are now champions, or maybe some of these older guys like LA Knight who have finally gotten their first real shot at gold. It's going to be good to see what they do with it now.
Going
for now,
forward.
though, SummerSlam, all in all, it's going to be
8 out of
down
10
in
for
history.
me.
Yeah, it's top favorite. I'm willing to go 9 out of 10. It was really good. I enjoyed SummerSlam.
What do you got, WC?
I got this as
Out of 10 rating.
I got this at 8.5. This was really good. to watch.
8.5 and 9. I like it. We're all right around there. Feels good. SummerSlam was a feel-good night.
And
Hot
speaking of, the Raw after SummerSlam was absolutely on fire. Me and Cash sat here, watched this
out.
Obviously, we watch
All
every
night.
episode for the most part, all the way through, but this one was, eyes were glued to the TV because
Oh, dude, this
it was sitting on all cylinders.
This was hot, dude.
We started with Gunther coming out to brag about being the new World Heavyweight Champion, and we had the return of Ludwig Kaiser.
Hold on. We had the return of Ludwig Kaiser. Shout out Samantha.
And then, Gunther goes on to talk about, he's ready for whatever, and blase, or whoever at Bash at the Berlin. And then he says he's never caught off guard. But I know who's caught him off guard here.
What's that? What do you hear?
Voices.
I do hear voices.
In my head.
They come to me, they understand,
They talk to me. As
They talk to me.
Randy Orton coming over to Raw, which it makes sense here because a lot of people are like, oh, why is Randy Orton on Raw? He's a SmackDown superstar, the brand split, he's so stupid, blah, blah, blah.
I'm
Shut
sick
the
of it.
fuck up.
I hate
Raw,
hearing it.
SmackDown, we just had a PLE, SummerSlam,
But
night
look-
after. I'm completely okay with this. Don't
If-
do it all the time.
If fans pay attention though and look
The
at the little
storytelling.
shit, not even that. Hold on, not even that. We're going to talk about the storytelling for why this makes sense. The whole Orton as a SmackDown guy coming to Raw, let me cry and piss on Cheerios, blah blah blah. It's
Randy Orton.
too.
Shut up,
Not even
fans are
that.
getting Randy
You heard Adam Pearce say that him and Nick Aldis, they make these deals. Take these guys for a night, take this for a night. That's how it works. This isn't the old school. This isn't 04 and 05 and
It's
the
just
brand
like-
split. This is now's brand split.
They're treating Raw and SmackDown much like they're treating the TNA and the NXT thing. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you can take this guy,
But it's like being acknowledged. coached. You know, it'd be one thing if a guy from SmackDown Raw just showed up out of nowhere for call some guy out. Like, what's the point when the GMs are making it known that, hey, we're doing this swap this week? You know, I like to see it because now I'm going, well, what happens on Friday? Who are they going to get for Monday for Orton showing up? So now you've got my intrigue playing. But all of these little cuck wrestling fans are, SmackDown guy on Raw.
They're definitely going to get something big on SmackDown. Yeah, hey, that's a good call over there, WC.
Right,
I like that. Save that for when SmackDown preview comes up, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. But, know what he was doing over here.
Gunther's going to have to defend at Bash of the Berlin. Obviously, I think he's going to win here. We'll talk about that on the preview show, but this is a great first opponent. Rivalry.
The opening has Gunther
great way.
as a 96.8% winning this match.
Oh, for sure. And then this match gets set up because of, I announced immediately as we were watching Monday Night Raw, I was like, oh yeah, this is who he fought to win King of the Ring. I forgot about how it happened. Right,
his shoulder wasn't down.
Orton's shoulders were not down. It hit me and Cap right there. Immediately had our first pop moment of the night.
And much like the Tribal Chief, we acknowledged that moment.
And Hunter acknowledged it, and we've acknowledged it. The fans acknowledged it. Orton acknowledged it. Even Gunther said, yeah, he acknowledges it. So we get Orton Gunther 2 Bash at Berlin. Not what I expected. Do I love it? Fuck yeah, I love it.
Would be a hell of a thing if this is where Vinci came back and Randy Orton gets number 15, because we got to get him a little bit closer, right?
If you're rolling with TLC talking like champions, we're going to be riding Da Vinci train for quite some time. Giovanni Vinci's going to make that return.
It's got to come at some point, man. I'm telling you.
Moving on after that, so they kind of dive right in.
Much like, what's his name?
Oh, man. I'll come back to that right at the end. I'll close with that, okay?
Come back to that, because that's all that hit me. Our Vinci to us is our who says this guy is
shout him out
to my man that will shout out at the end of this segment.
Diving right in after that, Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus. This match has been building up for months now. Ludwig got hurt
in the middle of the feud.
What, like a month or so tops? So not too long he was gone.
Like
maybe
6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah. He comes back. This is cool for right after SummerSlam to get a return.
Because you still got the Pete Dunne thing going on.
Dude, banger. And I feel like it's expected with Sheamus, right?
And we were commercial free for the first hour, so this match was absolutely on.
Oh yeah, no,
it was smacking.
It was smacking, and by smacking,
we got like
I mean
15
these
minutes from
dudes'
these
hands
guys.
in their chests.
Oh, plenty of times.
Open hand strikes across the face.
And speaking
neck, chin,
of
chest, dude,
somebody taking a shot, Pete Dunne comes out, tries to cost Sheamus the match, which
with the old shillelagh,
which is what I would think would almost happen, because Ludwig's coming back, Pete's still in this rivalry, Ludwig should win here, but that's not what happens. We have Sheamus actually picking up the victory because Pete tries to hit him, catch him off guard. Sheamus hits that nasty ass knee. My God, rocked him.
My God,
he rocked him to that announce table. I popped hard. Got in the ring, boom, brogue kick, 1, 2, 3. Shamo does what he does, puts on banger after banger.
Ludwig, in my opinion.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Ludwig, that made him a star, if anything, in my opinion, because people are like, "Oh, Ludwig Kaiser, he was in a tag team. He's kind of washed."
Keep pushing Ludwig. I'm a Ludwig fan, so
and then we come.
Great way to open here with this.
We come to the former world heavyweight champion, because this is how the night. The night kind of should have started with this, but I understand why it didn't, because Priest is looking for Balor, and he should have been hell bent on it the entire night, and he was.
And he was, just as you said. I mean, literally, you were just saying when we were watching, I don't want him to come out doing all of his normal entrance stuff.
I literally said he better walk to that ring with purpose, and he did.
I was stoked. Right. WC. Priest wants Balor, calls him out for this segment here. And then we get the unveiling of the new Judgment Day.
Which were?
Your hot take.
Carlito.
That they wanted the divorce.
Dunn, Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio. And it looks like we have a new leader. Even though the Judgment Day broke up because
there's not supposed to be a leader.
No egos. But it looks like Finn Balor does. He also pulls out a photo from last year's SummerSlam to explain why he did what he did.
And waited a whole year
for it.
It was great storytelling, a long-term storytelling. We didn't forget about it. Like, WWE's creative team has been hitting on all cylinders lately. I mean,
creative's been really good.
It's been great. They're doing callbacks and everything else, and it feels like watching the MCU damn near.
And I will say this, it does look like Priest is going to have to chase and go through this new Judgment Day before he gets his hands on Finn Balor. I would love to see that match. Side note, WWE posted WWE 24, The Rise of El Campeon, Damian Priest, and I completely forgot that Damian Priest fought Finn Balor
for the U.S. title.
No, at an NXT.
Oh, yeah, that as well. Yeah, back in like 2021 or something.
Banger of a match or something that they put on.
Was that when
Finn was healed?
Finn did his...
He was all white. Finn wore all white.
Was this his, I'm sorry, second round when he came back to NXT and he won the title?
Yeah, Finn.
Somebody took the flat back.
When he won the Oval title, not the X, obviously, he came back and won the new title.
When he was heel Balor.
It was
I thought
Priest
so.
or Balor that took the flat back bump on the stairs from the
yeah. Okay.
I just looked at it long ago, but I do remember it was definitely, like I said, it was 2020 or 2021, I want to say, in your house, because that's about when Finn was down there in NXT again.
Nonetheless,
so these two have history for sure. They're going to put on a banger.
Priest and Balor's going to obviously lead on. This is where earlier you were talking about the possible multiple Hell in a Cell matches. This one right here, where you automatically go, all right,
Finn and Damian can be
Punk
it.
and Drew, that's Hell in a Cell. Like, that's right off rip. Why not Priest and Damian right here? Priest and Damian. You guys heard me. What a botch.
What if... This just hit me.
Because you probably won't have Punk, maybe not Priest either, but you definitely won't have Punk or McIntyre probably on this Bash of Berlin card if you're going to do...
Probably not if you're going to give them bad blood. This is how they spread out all the superstars.
But this just came in my mind.
Go ahead.
What if Priest had to run a gauntlet through the Hell in a Cell, the New Judgment?
That would be fucking awesome.
That would be fun. That would be different.
Definitely be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll continue on with the Judgment Day because Priest had to take on JD McDonough.
This was later in the night that he had to take him on, but
Priest obviously going to go ahead about to pick up the victory, and what happens? Finn Balor, Judgment Day come down, they start beating the holy hell out of Priest, and Mommy comes down to make the save.
You knew she had to come for
They all fight back, everyone scurries, and of course, who else but JD gets left to get the bones picked?
To bones picked, more like just left in the ring for Rhea to headbutt the dirty fucking piss out of that dude.
And then how high in the air did he get? 7 foot?
He bought cheap seats. He was so fucking high.
You ain't lying.
He about flipped him all the way back on his neck. He flipped around so much. It was crazy.
And it was great to see these two square off because obviously...
back together.
Well, and then obviously everyone in Judgment Day is going to have great chemistry because they've been on the road every day for the last however long, 2-3 years now.
And it's fun because they've all wanted to go against each other, of course.
Yeah,
Who doesn't want to go
that's always the goal when you're a tag team.
Yeah, of course. Who's going to get to that point?
Of course. So, Rhea makes a save, and then, like you said, we have the Terror Twins are back.
I love it. They were never going to be apart or break up. Their friendship goes strong, and that's why they are the Terror Twins, and that's why the story always had to end up being Rhea and Damian on the outside.
And speaking of tag teams, we had the return of Kofi Kingston and the New Day, Xavier Woods, taking on the Final Testament, which was against AOP, of course.
This is another good on Triple H right here.
Because again,
Ludwig got hurt, and they came back to the story.
That's what I'm saying.
Kofi gets
We're not forgetting
they
right now.
They come back to the New Day.
Vince would have said, "You fans are fucking dumbasses. We're not gonna come back to this storyline. It's done." Right. But Paul's like, "Yeah, we're not rocking that way. We got to finish what started here." And
what does Paul do? He comes back to the story.
Pulls out a draft pick from 2 years ago.
Beefs it up a little.
This dude's taking longer than Veer, and Final Testament's getting the upper hand on New Day because they're down a member, and it's the night after SummerSlam. We got to get a return. Are we getting Big E here? But we know that's not possible yet. But we got Big O! Odyssey Jones, Odyssey Jones, the draft pick from 2 years ago, like the wild card said. This man has taken longer than Veer Mahan.
Shout out Mr. Santi Zap, my Instagram reaction follower, dude. Love that, dude.
My God. Anyways, Odyssey Jones out of nowhere comes down, makes a save, helps New Day, and what does he do? He not only lifts Akam, but Rezar.
Dude.
Oh.
He goes for the sidewalk slam.
Oh my.
I saw him line up, like, all right, he's going to go for one. And he's holding the one.
He's walking around with him.
With just one at first. For just a second, it was like, all right. And it was like...
Strong boy.
It was like, no.
He picked him up.
He's not about to do this. And he does it with ease. Now, I want to fact check because they claim Odyssey Jones was like, what'd they say?
They said he's 400 pounds.
My ass. I don't think he's that much. I'm going to go 350, maybe 340.
360, maybe.
Yeah. But regardless,
I could see if he was 4. He's stocky.
Maybe he is. I won't fact check that. We'll soon though. However, double sidewalk slams. What a fucking pop moment right there.
Oh, he picked up 600 pounds.
Dude,
Aiken Razar at least 280.
This is just raw.
At least
309.
309?
309.
So this is WWE, obviously. They might call him 400 pounds. Maybe he's a little more now. I'm not sure. Either way, he still had a 300-pound dude picking up double his weight. And he literally double sidewalk slam.
Fucking crazy.
Humongous pop by the crowd again, by the way. Baltimore
But
was
not
on
a humongous
fire.
pop from somebody standing ringside because Xavier Woods didn't appear to be too happy, but Kofi gets in the ring jumping around and
Yeah, so they
all
they hopped
happy,
to
and Woods is like,
backstage.
whoa, yeah. And
They
then,
hopped to backstage
Yep.
after that, and Kofi does a
this
fantastic...
is my boy Odyssey Jones.
Where did he see him at and meet him at?
He met him at the Performance Center when he was training from rehab.
Rehab from his injury.
That's great storytelling on
That is
WWE because
beautiful.
I'm like, where the hell did Odyssey Jones
Exactly,
come from?
that's little
way to
things
fill
that you
me
pick
in.
up right there. Yeah, way to fill it in right there by Kofi. Clearly, you see something going on with New Day right here. The big story, obviously, coming from this. New Day has been a team. They've been a faction. They've been friends. They've been champions. They've been everything for so long. Do we actually see the New Day breaking up? Do we actually see
It's been 10
Xavier
years.
Woods to turn so that he can have his solo run? I mean, come on, the story's there. You had your run. Kofi, you had your run. You both won world titles. I've done nothing. Hasn't won a U.S. title or an Intercontinental title. Literally won King of the
Or you can just be mad because you're trying to replace Big E with Big O.
He won King of the Ring when it was nothing. It meant nothing. And then he got a shot at the title against Roman, and then Roman took his crown.
Which we knew.
Obviously. So, yeah.
No bueno.
Could New Day really break up? We'll find out in a few weeks, and we'll see how the story goes. Me personally, Odyssey Jones needs to be in the New Day. They don't need to break him up. Just make it naturally happen. Make him the third man and keep them together, because you have a really good possibility and idea ahead of you with Odyssey Jones in the New Day.
I like it. I
love it. 10 out of 10 on
Which
that
brings,
segment,
yeah, I
honestly.
definitely didn't
Honestly.
expect it. Which brings me to my next segment that was 10 out of 10 as well, because CM Punk cuts a promo about how, again, he's happy to be back, and he shouldn't have been back because they told him 9, and he's back at 5, and even though he lost, it doesn't matter because he's back in WWE, and blase.
That's what I was going on earlier about
Typical
the new Punk.
Punk
He's
faction.
This is best for business
He's just
Punk right here. He's very
happy to
humble.
be there.
Very humble.
And then who interrupts him?
WC, who the hell comes out of nowhere?
Burn it down.
Of
None
course,
other than
burn it down. Why not, right?
Looking like a hangman.
Hangman Adam
That's why I wanted
Page,
your
Seth
opinion.
Rollins.
If you guys
That's what he
didn't
looked
notice,
like.
he really does. He looks like freaking.
Which is a guy who despises Phil Brooks.
Which is really funny, and why I feel like that he did wear what he wore because of that.
But as these two men are talking, going back and forth about crying, and then Drew McIntyre's in the crowd, fellas, I still got the bracelet.
Yep.
Blase.
CM Punk chooses to chase
Punk
after Drew up the stands and everything else.
And Seth's left in the ring because the bigger story at hand right now is CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. And if you remember, because we didn't
They'll
talk
come back
about
to
it,
Punk and Seth.
we didn't talk about this, but somebody backstage was talking to Pierce and said, Pierce, you didn't give me a match, but Kaiser comes back and gets one instantly. This is bullshit, basically.
Yep.
Big Bronson Reed, out of nowhere, smacks Seth Rollins, takes him down, get a little fight back from Seth, whatever the case may be. But it ultimately ends with, what was it, 7 tsunamis?
I think it was 6, but yes.
6, 7, 8. It could have been 100. Seth Rollins, what a visual. I don't know if it was, obviously probably had a capsule, spit some blood into the ring, make it appear like he had an internal bleeding issue.
Yeah, you might
or
have
it could be
been
real. This
I'm not
man's
sure.
350 pounds. This dude's packing some force.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You still have 350-pound dude jumping on you 6 times. Like, anything could go wrong in the ring. So hopefully that was just a blood capsule. Shout out Seth. If so, obviously it made the scene moment look better. WC, what do you think about Bronson Reed making his own path, as you said he was going to do? And he did. He chose Seth Rollins. How about this segment for you? What are you taking from this? I gave it another 10 out of 10 moment.
So I think this is great as far as making Bronson Reed a star here.
Immediately.
In one night.
In one night.
Sorry, one segment.
Because we can go back and
10 minutes.
he did the 1 tsunami, fine. 2 tsunamis, Fine. 3 tsunamis. Fine. We get to that 4th, 5th, the crowd, hook, line, and sinker. They are popping for every time he goes up to the top of the turnbuckle.
Because you got the doctors out there, the medical staff.
Jason Jordan.
Checking on Seth, and it's like, well, what are we going to do here? Seth Rollins, and it's like, pull the man out of the goddamn ring.
But
finally they did.
It is great because Bronson's going to be able to work with Seth. I don't want...
Let's give Seth a little bit of time, too. Maybe at Berlin.
I don't want Seth to be pulled away from this Drew McIntyre CM Punk. I do feel like if they are going to do Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, you're most likely going to do that at WrestleMania.
Which is why they're getting away from it right now.
But this is just nothing but goodness for Bronson Reed.
Do we get Bronson Reed Seth at Bash at Berlin now?
I believe so.
Possible, because Bronson's from Australia, so it's kind of close. He didn't
get overseas. He didn't have his overseas moment, right?
Remember, he didn't get to perform in his hometown because didn't he have a kid or something right then and there?
Yep.
Yeah, he couldn't be there. He had to perform on SmackDown or Monday Night Raw or something beforehand. I don't remember which one. But.
And when this obviously said one-on-one does happen, Bronson Reed clearly needs to win. If Seth just beats him, it's all for nothing.
So if you do this at Bash at the Berlin and you do the Punk McIntyre, I could see incidental costing by somebody, Seth getting distracted easily, maybe it could be something as stupid and simple as Drew and CM Punk are fighting throughout the crowd all night,
right,
or whatever, something like that, because the guys battle. Are still, exactly, and Seth gets distracted, Bronson gets it. That's if you don't want to put Bronson over clean, but it doesn't even matter if Bronson wins, to be honest. If Seth beats him, it's okay,
if
because
Bronson wins, then you're able to keep a potential rivalry going with him and Seth for a few matches in a month or two.
You also build him a little bit more steam to fight somebody, but also if he loses to Seth Rollins, it's like whatever, it's the GOAT.
Definitely.
And then A-Town Down Under was also on Monday Night Raw this week.
Yeah, you knew they had to come over and take a visit after
because of the Awesome Truth segment
at SummerSlam. Yeah, of course.
And then after picking up the victory,
surprisingly
what happened? Truth tags himself in.
Yes. So Miz here, who's locking up the win, I believe he was climbing to the top rope to go for the crossbody that he does occasionally. Truth actually got, overzealous, and he tagged in. He got excited. He tagged himself in, and you kind of noticed Miz immediately like, huh? And should have had the pin and should have had the win. It's not legal, the old classic. Truth ends up getting ate up, and he loses. You see Miz outside sitting on the mat, and he's against the barricade, and immediately it's disdain and discomfort, disheartenment on his face, and it's like, oh shit, is it gonna happen? Is it finally gonna happen? And no, it doesn't happen yet. He comes in and tells Truth, hey, it's okay. They kind of hug it out, they talk it out. They kind of ended the segment. Beautiful. Don't do it yet. Tease the heel turn. Don't go all the way through with it yet. This was another 10 out of 10 segment by Raw. They are flowing this Monday, right?
Then we had Dakota Kai, who was scheduled to take on Sonya Deville, who were attacked backstage because earlier in the night, Damage Control came down after the match between, was it Zoe Stark? No, it was, it was Zoe Stark or Shayna. Who'd they fight? Oh, it was Lyra. Sorry, Lyra. Yeah, I couldn't remember, but that's right. Because everything was sliding so hard, there had to be a down moment for 1 minute. You know what I'm saying?
They had to slow it down a little bit.
But Dakota Kai didn't get to take it on because they attacked that surgically repaired leg, and it actually was Io Sky who took on Sonya Deville.
Yep, Io.
Good way to continue the storyline. And then we
just doing Damage Control face here, but this is good. I like.
Then we cut to the final tape, and it's Joe Gacy, and we don't really get a whole lot out of it, just some creepy stuff. And
the final member
Gacy
tape
being Gacy.
The last tape, so that was cool.
And also, we pan to a downed Sami Zayn in the back, and then none other than Yeet walks up. What's up, Oos? Why you looking so down? And then it tells him, don't you got a rematch against Braun Breaker?
Yep.
And Sami says, you know I got a rematch against Braun Breaker next week. And he said, go get him, Oos.
My long-term storytelling moment right here would be Sami Zayn and Jey Uso
making the comment about Bash at Berlin for those tag team championships.
I ultimately think that could happen. I ultimately think
where Priest could cost
Judgment Day. Yes, exactly. I do think Uso and Zayn could win tag titles, actually getting them a little closer to maybe a SmackDown storyline, but we'll get to that. Then, of course, main event of the evening, you already know. The debut in Baltimore. What was it, 11 years?
Yep.
Of the debut of the Wyatt family, the Wyatt Six.
It was only right.
It was only right they come out and debut and win, and they did. To talk about how everything went, though, great. Match was great. Nothing spectacular spectacular. Nothing bad about it. 12-minute main event from what I read.
And a couple of different moves that I wasn't expecting from this bunch. Like the finishing move was like Loomis off the top rope getting thrown.
Oh yeah, the pop-up powerbomb.
Yeah, it was just not what I expected from them, but
Different.
hey,
No,
I'm cool with it.
I'm cool with it. This is 3 dudes that... So, exclude Rowan, and let's just talk about Loomis
And we also
DC
get
here.
the
They're from
name
NXT.
of Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, American Made.
American Made. Love the name. Some of you guys, I'm sure, I don't like it. Whatever. It'll grow on you. I liked it immediately. I'm not gonna lie. American Made.
Cole was putting it over. I like
Oh, they mentioned it like 10 times in the main event, just to plant it in your head. Nonetheless, great match. They really have done fantastic with the wide six. They blurred the lines of the supernatural and realism, taking the masks off, performing without them. We know their faces now. Dexter Loomis's hair is real. That is crazy.
yeah, that was a sight.
Emotional moment after the cameras went off. The IWC, they posted the fan videos. They all stood in the ring and they hugged. They pointed up to the sky, and Uncle Howdy walked out with the lantern. He never let go of the lantern until he got out of the arena. Beautiful moment to end the night off camera. Stellar Monday Night Raw. I think that was potentially the second best, if not tied for the best Raw of the year, with the Cody Rhodes Rock episode with the beatdown at the end. That episode was the best of the year so far.
Pretty fire.
This is right there with it.
And we skipped on the Braun Breaker having a little promo in the back that ain't, no one's going to take his title. Anyone that tries will be beat down, be
of course.
broken.
So everybody was on TV. It needed to be. That was a stellar Raw, head to toe, 10 out of 10.
Which brings me to Gab. The NXT Great American Bash.
Night 2, by the way.
Kicked off with Pete Dunne taking on Trick Willie, who Pete Dunne defeated Trick Willie clean.
By the way.
Hey, they're crazy, but I think a bigger story is brewing because later in the night, Trick attacked Pete backstage.
Yeah, they had a little.
Are we
beatdown
maybe
moment
getting
and
Trick
everything.
turning back heel?
Yeah, quite possibly. He might go back to the dark side here. We'll see. I think the
Maybe Javon Evans wins deadline.
I think the
Javon Evans wins deadline and Trick maybe cost them.
that would be crazy. That's a long-term story. That could be crazy. No, I think I think Triple H knows that Pete Dunne hasn't had the best booking, and that's straight blasphemy.
He's just trying to give him the matches.
He needs to.
He wants to keep
It's
him
straight
happy.
blasphemy that Pete Dunne had to become Bush in the first place. To begin with, I'm sorry. Pete Dunne is a monster, and for his age, he's great. He's got a huge future, so this is good on Triple H for keeping him in matches and him actually winning. So, bigger things at play here, of course.
And then we had NXT Women's North American Champion Kalani Jordan taking on Tatum Paxley, who she defeated. Great selling by Kalani when she went to go hit the... Sorry about that. A little hiccup. Had to drop my microphone. Kalani Jordan had great selling here, displaying that injured knee when she was going for her finish on Tatum, and just it's good work from such a young rookie, so fresh in the game.
With a
not green
belt
at all,
already.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then the big takeaway here was Wendy Chu, who we thought was maybe forming an alliance with Tatum Paxley, actually attacked Tatum Paxley after the match.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna get like
who's
a
creepier here, or if they're still going to come together here.
maybe the
I don't
pillow
know.
cut.
They're both just
Let's fight it out and then hug.
obsessed over a title. Maybe I don't know, but hey, I like that Wendy Chu's back on my TV screen for a few weeks here. It's taken some time. She hasn't really wrestled yet, so we'll see where this goes.
And Nathan Frazier has been looking for Axiom all night, and Axiom finally showed up at the building just in time for his
this
match
is
against MSK.
The slowest burning turn
I like
in
it.
all of WWE right
Because
now.
I don't know who's going to turn.
That's why it's good. They've literally been slow burning Axiom and Frazier.
I felt like Frazier was going to turn. Now I feel like it
For
could be
3
Axiom,
weeks,
right?
Frazier only cared about winning his Heritage Cup opportunity, his
The Speed
Championship opportunity, whatever singles matches he could set himself up, and didn't care about tag titles. Now Axiom's now doing his thing and off doing whatever, and I'll be there, I'll be ready. And lo and behold, we'll get to that later, they were ready. So
And then Ethan Page had to defend his NXT Championship against Ora Mensa, which this match had been brewing since Ethan Page's arrival
yeah.
to the black and yellow
Yeah, on
brand.
some randomness when Oro Mensa even they got into the
But I like it because it's a title defense for Ethan Page.
and the
It's
whole
another
reason this
strong
ever happened
showing.
is because Noam Dar got hurt, and for Shawn Michaels to keep
This whole
Oro
story.
Mensah involved in a storyline without the metaphor really on television right now like that. That's good. And they were all over the place in this match. There was weapons, and I believe the table spot up top got involved because they had a little setup for Great American Bash.
And then Ren Sinclair defeated Kendall Gray. And
New names,
in
new
doing
up-and-comers.
so, Charlie Dempsey actually earned an opportunity at the Heritage Cup because Ren Sinclair is actually the newest member of the No Quarter Catch crew on NXT. So that's a good way to integrate the story with the Heritage Cup and keep this going.
Ren Sinclair has basically become the Thea Hale of Chase U.
Exactly.
She's igniting a fire in No Quarter Catch crew. I believe it is Kendall Gray, by the way. She's literally for like 2 weeks now. I don't think it's her. I think there's somebody else. Maybe I'm going to have to fact check it. Somebody involved in this little storyline here keeps tossing around. Who's in No Quarter Catch crew? Miles Bourne. Just keeps literally Bailey and Belly and tossing Miles Bourne for like 2 weeks in a row now. So it's just funny.
Speaking of, you said something about Chase U. Ridge Holland actually called in a couple of favors. His last 2 favors from Ava. He got Chase U a brand new building. So Chase University is back, baby.
Yeah, like completely back.
They got a building and all.
Yeah, class.
Andre Chase was back in session, teaching class like only he knows how to do. And Ridge had a big announcement. His last favor was getting a rematch for the tag team titles.
Yeah, rematch for the tag team titles here. Last week they debuted new shirts that are black.
And
now
Duke
with red
was
detail.
so excited until Ridge said it was him and Mr. Chase. And Duke looked a little upset with that.
Not upset. He looked dejected. So now this is big here because I always thought that Rich Holland would be coming in to Chase U and play
And be the heel.
inside out and be the heel here in the long run.
We always thought Duke Hudson was going to turn from the beginning.
And I always thought Duke Hudson was going to go from the beginning, and then he ends up being a very, very focal point of Chase U now. And now, could we see a heel turn coming from Duke Hudson? This is good little storyline and storytelling right here. I also personally think that next week Chase U does win the tag titles from Axel and Frazier, and that's going to push their storyline more and piss off Duke more.
I don't. I think Duke will accidentally cost them.
Okay, and we're going to go without titles here. Okay. See, I think
we're going to continue this slow burn of Frazier and Axiom for a little bit longer.
I think
we want a more established up-and-coming tag team to take those championship gold.
I just think Chase U is going to do it because Ridge Holland is going to get a title here, and that's from Shawn Michaels. That's saying, hey, you've had a hard time and things have happened, and that also plays to a storyline character. He's trying to climb back up, so we'll see.
Then we had the Battle of Joes in NXT. Who was the better Joe? But I know who I believe in.
Joe Hendry.
Because it was Joe Hendry taking on Joe Coffey of Gallus.
Goddess boys.
And what a match, because let me tell you, how this match start, Joe Hendry, bell rings, jumps over the top rope, takes out Wolfgang and Mark Coffey.
Yeah, dude. What,
right off the rip.
You just did like some...
He did like some kind of...
WC loved it.
I'm just diving in.
I'm just flinging my body.
I'm just flinging my body over.
It's like he stepped over the top and did almost like a falling star type.
Yeah.
I don't
He
know.
looked like Scooby-Doo jumping into Shaggy's lap from over the top rope.
Yep.
That's what it was. Hey, catch me, but you guys can't because I'm Joe Hendry.
The better
I
moment
believe.
of this match would be the Gallus boys on the outside of the ring, and they I'm sorry, I got cut off right here because the wild card happens to pull out his phone. He literally scrolls one post, and here's Joe Hendry highlight video. He hits that dive to the outside of the ring. Yes, so the big moment from this match,
The Eddie Guerrero moment
the
from
funny
Joe
moment,
Hendry.
the Eddie Guerrero moment. Joe Hendry.
This was innovative. I hadn't
Gallus
seen
boys
this before.
getting the chair, and he gets the chair, and he sees them, and tosses him the chair back. Right, instead of just falling on the ground and selling.
Jumps on the announce table for the noise.
Jumps up onto the announce table, almost like he jumped over the ropes to start the match. Jumps up on it like a pole vault, like Coop just said, and bang! You hear the noise on the announce table. It sparks the ref to turn back around. Gets Gallus boys taken out of the arena. You already know. Twist of the wrist, a little fling, and you're out of here. And the Battle of Joes goes on, where Joe Hendry lifts him up for a beautiful standing ovation.
Well, that crowd was on when camera was shaking. Joe was getting into
Joe
with
Hendry.
we
And
believe.
That leads to Joe Hendry coming promo right after the match where he gets a microphone and he says, I'm here for the long haul, essentially. He says, I like it here. I don't think I'm going to be leaving anytime soon.
He'll be there next week.
This is, next week, the week after that, I will be damned if Joe Hendry doesn't have a contract with WWE by this year's over with or by this split ends here. We'll see how this TNA partnership
I think
goes
this
on.
TNA gets signed by TKO and we call it a...
Hey, NXT TNA. Just give me a Worlds Collide event before we do anything, all right? And then
The main event.
the main event of NXT,
NXT
was
tag
sure to
team
be
titles.
a banger, of course. Axiom Frazier going against MSK. Yes, Wesley.
What do they say in the
and Zach
IWC
Wentz.
nowadays? This match absolutely what?
Fucks. That's what the kids say. And it did. Of course, this is a banger. Axiom Frazier is a tag team I didn't know I needed when they weren't champions, and they became champions, and I realized I needed them, and they've been great ever since. MSK, untouchable. I think they're one of the best groups or tag teams in the world right now. Depends on, and actually doesn't depend on how you do it. Whether that be Wes Lee and Zach Wentz and Trey Miguel or Trey Wesley, it doesn't matter. Any mixture, they're great. What we weren't ready for?
Why, Wes? Why?
What we weren't ready for?
This match, we see a
What
hellacious
we
springboard
weren't
cutter from
ready
Zachary
for.
Wentz. Looks like they're about to get the win. Ultimately, they don't. Guess
a banger
what?
match, a great finish.
Wentz doesn't get it done
Golden
as Wesley
ratio
gets
has to get
pinned.
hit twice. 1, 2, 3. It was all great, but what, Cap?
Why, Wes? Why?
Why'd you do it? WC, you saw it go down. What'd you see?
What'd you think?
Tell it all.
So I'm not as invested as y'all. So
We're NXT marks.
I'm not asking why, Wes, why. I'm saying good for you.
Do tell.
Because
I
he
agree.
was on a losing streak there. And the fact that, he brought in MSK as help from TNA on it. What has he done? He's done nothing. He can't face Obi for the North American title. What's he gonna do?
He's back to the corner right now.
Is he gonna face Ethan Page?
That's why him bringing his boys, the Rascals, in was good for him because of this whole thing. They had a couple matches when we went back to TNA for a little bit. He did a couple matches over there or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I definitely did not see this coming. I actually wasn't watching live, and Cash texted me. He's like,
So I was.
"Oh my fucking god,
Dude.
Wesley!" And I was like, "What?" Then he
wasn't.
calls me and talks about Wesley just turned on the Rascals, and the way that it happened, my god, I didn't see it coming.
I
Big
wasn't
hug,
watching
everything
the
else.
show live. I was
And
actually
then
at work and I
super
turned it
kicked
on.
the
and
he
it happened.
super kicked the absolute living shit out of Trey Miguel, which we love Trey Miguel because he's a fan of Talking Like Champions podcast. He shared one of our posts back in the day. It was about 2 years ago when we were first up and coming, before we could get the episodes actually rolling, and we just had posts going. And shout out Trey Miguel. But he absolutely got super kicked. Sold the shit out of it, by the way. And then Wes turns to Wentz, and Wentz is like,
Plays the
"Why,
greatest
Wes?
act
Why?"
I've ever seen. That face, dude.
That he said, "What are you doing?"
That's your brother.
And then Wes is just like, "I don't give a shit." Kicks him right in the fucking
He didn't
dick.
kick him in the dick. He lifted his foot and leg right up in his shit. He laid it in there, and it was great. Dropped Wentz to his knees, damn near crying already.
And you could hear him. You could hear him asking. I can't remember what he said. But at the moment, I was like, remember, I didn't hear him.
Yeah, and then Wes acknowledged.
Oh, no, he said, "You left."
Oh, yeah.
You left me. He said, "I
And
know,
Wentz goes,
I'm
"I know."
sorry."
Yep.
And then
punches
he
him.
still beats the shit out of him. Like, that was a story. That was cinema.
Gets out of the ring, throws Trey Miguel through the fucking barricade. It breaks, blasts him. Trey Miguel's literally dead. Doesn't move at all. And then Wentz already leaned against the stairs. You knew it was coming. Wesley turns around and he puts the double knees on him through the stairs. This was shocking. Did not know this was coming. Like I said, I was not even watching NXT really. I was working. I was driving home. And I put it on and I was, main event. Match was sliding, and then this happens. I raced in the house and he just turned on the Rascals. What'd you say? Yeah, you heard me. Wesley just turned on the Rascals. It's just like WC said. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna go as far as good for you, Wes. I'm still asking why, Wes. Why? I want to know why. I would definitely want to hear the why and really let it break down. But this is good for Wes. This is crazy good for
that's
WWE,
my thing.
NXT,
I thought he
TNA.
was going to
This is
come
great.
up. Remember, I don't know if you remember, but I think it was episode 1 we were talking about our favorite up and coming and stuff. I was like, Wesley, because Ricochet is going to be leaving. Wesley is going to come to the main roster. Well, obviously that's not their plan right now to bring him to the main roster. So much like, if you remember, Braun Breaker was ready for the main roster.
Yep.
And then what did he do? He turned heel
Yep.
And then went on a rampage, got in a couple of feuds, and then did the Wolf Dog.
Now we're Intercontinental
And now he's Intercontinental Champion.
So this is good for Wesley.
So Wesley, let's say SummerSlam next year, Wesley's on the main roster.
Oh, for sure. Champion by then or winning that night. Something for sure. And like I said, this is good for both sides because
They're going to put on a banger.
TNA can execute right here. And
Wesley can come over there.
Come over there and fight one of the Rascals.
And vice versa.
Do their PLE and have him fight the other Rascal. This is good. How's it going to end? I don't know. Is Wesley going to grow from this? Is it going to be a crazy heel on the main roster, like you said? What happens to Trey Miguel and Wentz after this? Because how are they going to process and change? How is their characters going to change knowing that they don't have their third brother in their hearts, let alone on the same show anymore? So,
and let's not forget
another NXT. I'll tell you that much.
It was a great NXT, and another great NXT. It will be on October 1st when they debut at the Allstate Arena.
Yeah, for the CW.
On
did you
CW.
See that, WC?
I did see that.
And
CM
Punk.
WC, they're on the CW. NXT on the CW.
They are also on the road the following week as well.
Where?
In St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, why?
Who's going to be there?
They
talk to me.
The voices. Randy Orton will be there.
So that's huge
CM
news.
Punk
Shawn Michaels
Congress.
announced that on the old social medias.
Yeah. Follow.
So that was a little bit of a
dumbass
breaking news. And speaking of, WWE Monday Night Raw and NXT will return to the USA Network this Monday and Tuesday because USA.
Yeah, USA
has done a great job in the Olympics, and shout out to all the countries that have participated because
USA went out there, won
we love everybody. But I just so happen to live in the United States, so I root for the United States, and we're medaling, baby.
Yeah, going out there, win themselves a few Olympics. USA doing their things. You already know. That's it.
And that tonight, SummerSlam, Monday Night Raw, NXT, SmackDown. We've had so much to talk about. And just think that the next time that we do this, it's going to be meeting up. And we're not going to talk as much about the WWE. We're going to dive in to the All Elite Wrestling when we have our AEW All In preview coming to you live next week.
Yeah, WC's going to wake up for that one for sure because he likes himself some AEW.
Will Bryan Danielson win the AEW World Heavyweight Championship?
Or will it be Isaiah Swerve Strickland? Is he going to retain the AEW World Championship? Career versus title here. Contract.
And MJF, Will Ospreay cooking up over there. I'm not going to lie. I've been getting invested into the AEW, so I will be excited for that episode. I feel bad that we haven't really talked a lot about AEW, but we're just WWE guys, and we have to stay in our lane.
Yeah, definitely got to
stay in our lane. Well, we're going to talk about the AEW. We're going to talk about the WWE.
But before we bid you all adieu, we have to leave you with just something. WC, give them something to watch.
You reminded me, I'm sorry, before you give them something to watch.
Oh, no.
Before you give them that match to watch.
What a surprise.
I need you to just type it in.
Ah.
Go back to TNA. Find Eli Drake. Type in the Milk Jug promo.
New segment. Cap's going to leave you with a promo while WC and I
I'm telling you, if you don't laugh and piss yourself after this promo,
the Eli Drake promo of the year.
And I don't know what to tell you, but you'll know because she's wearing a cheetah print bikini.
Plastic.
He only drinks from the jug, huh? You'll know about it when you find it. Go find out Eli Drake and let me know what y'all think because I know I'm about to put it on right when we end this podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
WC, what's the match of the week?
Oh my God.
You got us a good one.
I do got us a good one, and I'm surprised it did not make it on any of our top 10 lists.
Really? Alright.
SummerSlam?
SummerSlam match, how do we even begin to overlook SummerSlam 03, Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle?
Ah, okay, very good.
That's a good match.
Very good match, very technical match.
It wasn't the Mania match, but
Arguably, I think
could be better.
The SummerSlam match is better than the Mania match.
Could be.
Personally.
We don't have a broken neck either.
Right. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Brock had won the title a couple weeks ago in the Iron Man match, and this is the rematch to the Iron Man match. So, go check out that. Kurt Angle challenging Brock Lesnar for the WWE Undisputed title, SummerSlam 03.
Cash, you got a match for him this week?
Yeah, I leave a little something, We've done so much SummerSlam talk. I'm just going to go put a random one out there. For some reason, it just popped in my head, so I'm just going to go out there with it. Go back to WrestleMania 36. go to COVID Mania, where they put on a banging triple threat match for the tag team titles in a ladder match. Yes, you heard that right. Triple threat match.
Definitely
Tag team
random. What's that?
titles in a ladder
Jimmy
match.
Uso and Kofi.
And Morrison. Yep. In a
Pretty good match.
Triple threat for the tag titles because a couple guys were hurt and COVID. And
I'll give you a
triple
match.
threat for the tag titles. So random, the match low-key slid. In front of fans, it would have been fire. And I don't know why it popped in my head, but maybe it's because I was thinking about the Olympics and Noah Lyles. He got announced with COVID earlier, and I was thinking COVID.
And I'm going to give you a match because I'm just thinking about it. Seth Rollins versus Adrian Neville. Monday Night Raw for the WWE Championship.
Where we thought, seriously, Neville really just won, and I was marking out, and then we realized, put on the rope. And now he's packed.
Now he's packing. Speaking of, rumor has it, we got a couple new signings maybe in WWE.
Yeah, some Ricky Starks on the way, possibly. Some Motor City Machine Guns.
And maybe some Lucha Bros.
Some
Zero Miro.
Zero Miro.
I'm stoked for it. We'll talk about that more on the AEW All-In Preview.
Another successful show. Most importantly, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate all the streams.
You know what to do. Like, follow, subscribe.
Click the button in the corner, top
Click
right,
that
bottom
bell.
left, wherever it's at. You know what to do.
Because
we gave you the talk. You've got the matches. WC's ready to take a nap, and we're ready to send y'all home.
Yeet!
Yeet!
See ya!